Are you feeling defeated after dealing with tough behavior in the classroom? When you're the target of aggressive outbursts, possibly being bitten, kicked, knocked out, punched, it's easy to lose resilience and stop taking it personally. But what if you could process the hurt, heal, and stay strong without letting it break your spirit? Listen in today as we talk about strategies for showing up with compassion even on the toughest days.
Welcome to the Society's Child podcast, where we have real conversations about being a trauma-responsive educator in the midst of a significant mental health crisis. Hi, I'm Trish Senzak, a former educator, compassion advocate, and Jesus lover, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Are you feeling confuzzled about your students' behavior and needs? You're not alone. If trauma-informed strategies leave you wondering, what's next? Don't worry. My friend, I've been there too. As a foster mom and a child of complex trauma mixed with my experience as a teacher, it's led me to finding a compassionate, whole child approach that's evidence-based, practical, and transformational, and I'm so eager to share it with you. Whether you want to connect with your students on a deeper level, create a trauma-sensitive environment, or you just need a little bit of encouragement or support, you're in the right place. So grab a drink, a pen, or your earbuds, and let's work together to create a safe and student-attuned trauma-responsive school culture. Society's children need you, so let's get started.
We've all been there. We've all had those days and those moments when a challenging student and tough behavior feels like a personal attack. Sometimes the emotional weight of the classroom might even leave you questioning if you can just even keep going. Whether you've been bitten, hit, or just simply emotionally drained by a tough interaction, it's normal to feel discouraged. I want you to know that. But here's the truth. Your worth as an educator is not tied to these moments. Today, I want to talk to you about building that resilience and protecting your mental health so you can stay compassionate and trauma-informed and right there in the middle of being connected with each and every one of your kids. I want you to remember that resilience is more than just about bouncing back. It's about protecting your heart and your mind while you stand in the gap for your students. It's understanding these behaviors, as tough as they are. They aren't about you. They're a window into the child's pain or unmet needs. When we stop taking these moments personally, we free ourselves to respond with clarity, connection, patience, and strength. So I want to encourage you with some ways that you can shift into this new mindset and get yourself in a better space mentally so you can face these challenging behaviors. Number 1, acknowledge the impact. Start by giving yourself permission to feel. It's okay to be frustrated or hurt. It's part of the process. But ignoring these feelings only makes it harder to heal. And if you don't acknowledge that you are doing a great job and that it's okay not to be okay in this moment, you're going to stunt your own healing. You've got to give yourself permission to feel through the pain, the frustration, and the aggravation of the situation. Number 2, you need to step back and process what just happened. When you're in the moment, it's easy to react emotionally and have heated feelings, heated reactions, and discouraging situations that might take place at that moment. But then you got to take a pause and you got to breathe and you got to step away, breathe deeply, and go into a quiet space or go to a place where you can actually take time to jot down your thoughts, process it in a way that helps you reset before you go back into the next situation. You've got to take that time to step back, even if it's at the end of the day.
Hi friend, I wanted to pause right here and just take a moment to ask you for a special favor. If you are finding anything helpful in this episode or any previous episodes that you've listened to, would you pause right now, go into the Apple Podcast app, scroll down to the bottom of the show, and find the Leave a Review button. It would be awesome if you would take a moment and follow the show and do this. There are people out there just like you looking for this information, and this would help the algorithm get this into other people's hands, and it would be helpful for them as well. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's one of the biggest favors that you can do for me. I appreciate you and thank you in advance for taking the time to do this. So let's get right back to the show.
Number 3, one of the toughest things to do is to step back and see the need behind the behavior. So number 3 is about reframing the behavior, reframing your mindset. So we got to remember that these tough behaviors are rarely about you. Taking it personally is so easy to do. So instead, flip that script and ask yourself, what is the student trying to express? What's the need behind the behavior? What's really going on for this kid? Using this mindset, it will help you approach them with more empathy and compassion and connection instead of that resentment that often comes up firsthand. Number 4, and I think it's one of the hardest for educators, is for us to practice self-care. Our first reaction is, I don't have time for this. I can't even think straight. I'm always too busy. But my friends, resilience grows when we take care of ourselves. If we're not taking time to rebuild what's going on inside of us, it will stunt us and it will keep us stuck. So even if it's a 5-minute prayer, a worship song, a call to a friend, an accountability partner, or a brief break, taking a tub bath, doing whatever you need to do to renew your strength, keep your perspective on, and be able to reset yourself so that you're ready to walk in fresh the next time. Some kind of self-care is super important for what you need to be doing in these moments. Number 5, you've got to lean on support. Whether you find a counselor, a mentor, a friend, you've got to find someone that can carry this burden with you. This isn't something you can do by yourself, especially if you're getting that aggression in the classroom every day. You got to share your experiences with a trusted colleague. Share it with someone that you can talk through it with, because it lightens the load and it often gives you new insight, new perspective, and maybe even new ideas of things you can do to move forward. Being on the receiving end of the tough behavior, the kicks, the hits, the bites, it's one of the hardest parts of teaching, especially when you're working with these challenging kids. But it doesn't define you. Just because you can't handle it in that moment or you're frustrated one more time, it has nothing to do with you and your strength. However, leaning into the resilience and prioritizing these strategies that I'm giving you here, prioritizing your mental health, it means you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're creating a space where you can show up with love and strength for your students. God's grace is sufficient for you in every moment, even the hardest ones. So this week, my friends, I challenge you to reframe one of these tough interactions. Something that has happened to you, reframe it. Instead of taking it personally, ask what the student might need or how you can show up for them. You're doing kingdom work. Every single thing you're doing, every small act of compassion is one seed that can later grow into lasting change. Keep going. You are making a difference, my friend. See you on the next episode.
Hey, amazing educators, thanks for tuning in. If you found this episode helpful, I'd love for you to hit subscribe and leave a review. Even better, share this episode with a colleague. And hey, I'd love to connect with you on social media. You can even join my Facebook group for some extra support and a dash of inspiration. I've left all the links in the show notes. Until next time, my friend, remember, you're not alone on this journey. You've got this. Keep making a difference and stay teach-tastic.